Hey gang, it's your boy Platt back with another Spirit Series video. We're working our way through rums, and today we're focusing on spiced rum. You might remember in the last video we talked about flavored rums, and I told you there was a difference between spiced rums and flavored rums. And one of the big differences is that spiced rum has a much longer history than flavored rums. Flavored rums are kind of new to the scene, where spiced rums have actually been around as long as rum has been around the Caribbean. The tradition started with the islanders in the Caribbean adding various spices and fruits to the rums that are being produced. If you remember history, part of the reason why the Caribbean was found, why Christopher Columbus was sailing there, is they were trying to find new routes for the spice trade. Anyway, the islanders would take their local spices and add to these rums that are being produced at the time. If you think about rum being produced in the 1700s, it wasn't double, triple distilled. It came off, it wasn't being cut with water. These were pretty hot, raw spirits. And so the addition of fruit and spices to that kind of tamed it down, made it something more palatable. Besides fruit and spices, the local natives got a little creative with some of the things they added to rum. Fish, insects, even raw meat. Now, they could have been trying to marinate the meat or help preserve it in some way, or maybe they just wanted meat flavored rum. Who knows? Even today in the Caribbean, if you go to a local bar or a local distillery, they will have kind of a house blend or house spice blend of rum. The bars may make their own, homemade spice rum. Probably something that wouldn't pass the TTB's regulation on labeling, but probably a unique take on spiced rum. After a couple hundred years of the locals making their own variation on spiced rums, today the spiced base is generally vanilla, clove, cinnamon. Those are kind of the nutmeg. Those are kind of the basis of that, or modern day spiced rum. There is a company out there doing something unique with spiced rum. I have not personally tried it, but I read about it. I thought it was unique. It's called Old Cajun Louisiana Spiced Rum. They take a traditional spiced rum, again the vanillas, the nutmeg, stuff like that, and then they'll add Cajun spices on top of that. So a lot of people get thrown off that term spiced rum. They'll drink it like, well, it's not spicy in the heat kind of way. I mean, you do get a little kick. Cinnamon has that kind of unique spice quality where it's hot, but not hot we think about. Well, this rum with them Cajun spices actually does have that kind of heat, the peppery kind of heat. And when I read about it, I thought that was a unique way of creating something a little different. Speaking of creating something different, if you're into rum and want to learn how to make your own spiced rum, I will leave a link up here to my video on how to make spiced rum. The basics are you would take some aged rum. Most of the time, the base for spiced rum is some kind of aged rum, because again, what you get out of the barrel adds a little flavor to there, and some of the clove or whatever, they're very complementary flavors. Anyway, you take some spiced or aged rum, add your nutmeg, your cinnamon. I believe I threw in some orange peels. Anyway, you can learn how the process is done and make some spiced rum at home. Since we're talking about spiced rum, we probably need to talk about the most popular spiced rum, and that's Captain Morgan's. Captain Morgan was named after the old Welsh privateer that became a lieutenant governor of Jamaica back in the 1700s, what have you. The brand itself was first brought to the U.S. in 1984 and quickly became vastly popular, so much so that by 2007, the Captain Morgan brand of spirits was the 7th largest spirit brand in the world. Today, they're more than just spiced rum. They have a whole line of rums, but spiced rums are a big deal, and that Captain Morgan proves that. The particular spiced rum we're going to try today is Hammock Bay Spiced Rum, 35% alcohol by volume, 70 proof. You may or may have not seen this bottle on your shelf. It's created by a company called Franklin Distillers. If you've ever walked into your local liquor store, especially one of these chain liquor stores, and just said, my God, there's a ton of rums, there's a ton of vodka, da, da, da. It's companies like this that fill those shelves. Franklin is what you would call a contract bottler. If you ever won the lottery and said, hey, I would love to have my own vodka brand, my own gin brand, what have you, you would contact a company like this. There is no Franklin vodka or Franklin gin. They make booze for everybody else. They're not creating their own thing and doing their own marketing. They help do it for everybody else. And Hammock Bay is one of their lines. There may or may not be a place called Hammock Bay somewhere in the world, but there's not a distillery there with a master distiller creating beautifulness or whatever. This is done in California, actually. Franklin Distillers produces and markets roughly 2,000 brands of spirits and wine. There's several companies like this that are kind of catch-all for the spirit business. Again, if you're wanting to start your own line, they may let you try, let's say you want to do a rum. They would let you try their rums. They would then let you look at a bunch of different bottles. You choose the right bottles, the right tops. They may or may not have an in-house graphic department. They can design labels for you. They may or may not have in-house legal department that will help you get all the permits and licensing you need. Even if you've got a company like this doing it for you, you still need to get federally licensed. Again, this is a company that kind of helps fill out those shelves in your liquor store. But the reality is, like this Spiced Rum is a good example. If I'm just going to throw this in a bunch of fruit juice or whatever, what am I really needing out of this? And how much quality do I really need? And the reality is, just because it's a contract bottler doesn't mean it's not a decent product or they can't make a good product. So I thought about that when I picked this, and I've picked a couple of these brands like that. They're out there. They might bring really good value. This is a reasonable price. I want to say $13.99 or maybe $15.99, something like that. Reasonably priced spirits that may or may not have some good quality in them. And again, if you're adding it into juices, maybe something worth giving it a try, which is what we're going to do. I don't pick up much on the nose. A little sweetness. I do pick up some like rum sweetness on the nose. Maybe just a hair cinnamon. Let's give her a try. It's actually not bad. Fairly smooth. A decent finish. I mean, not a short finish. I'm picking up a little of that molasses, some brown sugar. Maybe just a scotch of vanilla. Overall, fairly smooth. I can tell this is just a good smooth rum base. A little bit of sweetness, probably some additional sugars in there. Overall, not bad. Again, part of the reason why I pick some of these brands like this sometimes is just want to see from a value point. Again, $15 a bottle, yeah, not a bad. Again, if I'm throwing this either in a cola or with some fruit juice, this probably gets the job done. Well, I hope you liked this video. If you did, please subscribe down below. Also, please like the video because it lets YouTube know we're putting out good content. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, please leave them in the comment section, or you can contact me on the Twitter page. Till next time, bottoms up.